Hello everyone, and thank you for joining in for this segment. This is I believe this is the second episode that we'll do, depending on what order I put these things in. Well, let me go ahead and start up my timer here so I stay within YouTube limit, 10 minutes or less. What we're going to be looking at is not just the JFK assassination, respectively. It's been a long time, and there's been tons of controversy and all that stuff. We're not really going to debate about that, though. I'm going to address a specific issue and claim that there's a man named William Cooper, or his full name actually Milton William Cooper, and I respect the guy. Unfortunately he's passed away. He was killed outside of his home by I think it was the sheriff's department. And don't get me wrong. I mean, if you read about the guy, they'll say he, came out of his house and started shooting at the cops and everything. They were serving a couple warrants, and so obviously he would be a bad guy if he was doing that. But his views. Had a lot of interesting views. He had a lot of fact, but he's just one of those guys that is extremely confident, and he can get the average person to believe what he says just on how he speaks to you. He's very convincing. Of course, you don't always believe everything that you hear. He certainly, I think, believed what he told people. There's a 10 segmented video on YouTube that shows him probably it's some sort of a lecture, probably like a MUFON lecture or something like that, and he goes into the complete history of extraterrestrials and how everything has been structured around that, so to speak, politics, and just it's extremely long. It's over an hour's worth of video, but maybe I'll be posting those up as well. One of the claims that he made was that JFK was assassinated by the driver of the vehicle, and when I had first watched the video after I had heard that, I watched and a couple times I didn't see it, and then watched it again, and then I saw it. Now, I'm not claiming that that's what I believe. It was very convincing the first time that I saw it, but we're going to go ahead and kind of explore that completely unbiased. I try to give you guys the most open approach that I can to things, so a lot of people can just bash on it and all that, or say what they want, but I'm not going to do that. We're going to look at it, and if you've got your YouTube window open, you can go ahead and play along if you want to search for the other videos for JFK's assassination. This film that I show here, this is the Zapruder film, and there's a lot of controversy over this film as well, because there's some frames that have been either they were damaged so that they were moved, or somehow edited, and it's not the complete version. However, as far as I know, this film is the one that's debated over regarding if the driver in fact did shoot JFK. So, Zapruder film or not, this is the film I'm going to be showing, because this is what is mostly seen today, and this is what people use as an example of showing that JFK was murdered by the driver. Before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and here's Milton right here, or William Cooper. I'm going to go ahead and play this segment. The audio may be off because of the recording software that I'm using. Make sure that I have my time right here. We've got plenty of time left, and I just want you to hear the audio. You can also find this video on YouTube as well, and I will probably upload this as well, but I just want you to hear what he has to say, and hopefully you guys will be able to hear this. So let's go ahead and play it.
Between the years 1970 and 1973, I served on the intelligence briefing team of the Commander-in-Chief of the United States Pacific Fleet, who at that time was Admiral Bernard Cleary. I was attached to the Office of Naval Intelligence. I had a top secret, Q, sensitive compartmentalized information, security clearance, actually access and the need to know almost everything that the Admiral himself, the members of his staff, and many high-level government officials. It was during this time that during the routine course of my duties, top secret documents crossed my desk that I was able to read that outlined everything that really and truthfully happened, according to those documents, in Dallas on November the 22nd, 1963, when President John F. Kennedy was assassinated. According to these top secret documents, the intelligence community and the national security apparatus considered John F. Kennedy to be a threat to the national security. It's stated in those documents that the assassination pistol used was prepared, manufactured specifically by the Central Intelligence Agency for assassinations. It was electrically operated, gas-powered, and could either fire a poison dart, a small hypodermic needle, or an exploding pellet which could contain any several deadly poisons. These documents stated that William Greer, the driver of the President's car, a Secret Service agent, and ex-chauffeur of the Lodge family, turned in his seat and fired with this assassination pistol at point-blank range at the President's head, an exploding pellet filled with shellfish toxin, which really killed our President.
For 30 years, Congress had...
Okay, I'm going to stop it there. I let the guy explain himself. I don't need to say anything. That's what he said straight from his mouth. So I don't need to go ahead and he can explain it better than I can of what he believes specifically. Now, there's no issue of this man's military record. He did serve in the Navy. He had all of his in his book. I had gotten one of his books one time. It was Behold the Pale Horse, I believe, and pretty good book. Lots of interesting ideas. It definitely kept you interested. Whether you believe it or not, it's a different story, but in the back of it, I think it was in the back, it may be in the middle or the back, he showed all of his military documents and all that. I mean, of course they could be forged, but there's ways to verify that. So I don't have any question on whether he actually served where he said he was and all that sort of thing. I don't have a problem with that. He can say whatever he wants. The problem is that he starts making his claims, and we're going to look at that here in just a second. We'll probably start it up in the next section. That way I've got enough time to digitally show you all these things, play the video for you, and zoom in and show you all the good stuff. So this happens so many times, and especially if you look at like the Roswell case, you know, no matter what it is, but the Roswell case is, I'm not going to go too much into it. We'll say that for another. That's a long one to discuss. You have all these military people that say that they were witnesses, that they were there, but they all seem to have a different story. They don't tell the same story. There's differences, and minor differences are okay. I don't have a problem with that, but when it's completely inconclusive with another person, what they say, so you've got, say, you know, 4 or 5 credible people, and you sit them down one by one, and they explain to you an event that occurred. For some reason, there's differences, and so you know that somebody is not telling the truth. Someone is making something up, or maybe they've thought that that's what had happened, and they're convinced in their mind that what they're telling you is the truth. So in this case, this is something that's similar, but I'm going to go ahead and break now at just below the 10-minute mark, and when we come back, we're going to go ahead and show you the video, I'll freeze it, zoom it in, and we'll go ahead and get down to business as far as what exactly is going on here. So we'll be right back.